Hey, this is Nathan Drake from Uncharted. You're listening to Raw Dogs. Sic Parvis Magna. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, welcome to Raw Dogs. We are your favorite podcast in the entire fucking world. My name is Brad. You know me as the Brad guy. I am the hairy one, but you don't know how hairy because this is audio. Thanks for joining us. Dylan, who are you?
I'm Dylan, and you kind of gave up the ghost on that shit. I am I'm your mid-tier favorite, B or C tier. I'm not S tier or A tier.
We're ranking the Dogcast members.
We're ranking them.
We're putting Dylan in a solid B minus tier.
It's just a picture of me with my thumbs up going, yeah, I'll take it. You want to know what? C's get degrees.
Hey, how many Patreon, volunteers do we need for us to do a ranking of
an official ranking?
Just to make us feel good about ourselves.
If we get,
we're all S tier. If we did it for ourselves.
If we get 10 more Patreon members, we will all rank each other as Dogcast members.
Oh, no, we are not. Everyone would be S tier except for me.
No.
Who is the wonderful man in the Super Friend shirt?
Oh, my name is Nick. I go by Nick.
On the streets.
Yeah. They know me.
And Freaky Neeky in the sheets, huh?
Freaky Neeky.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not yet, but I'm going to aspire.
Because he uses his knees in strange ways.
And who is this gentleman over here?
This is regular old Dominic.
Dom the Bomb.
Yeah.
Ooh. He's here.
Fair enough.
He's not queer, but very supportive of.
But get used to it.
Yeah, I do have a rainbow on my sweater for the listeners.
Yes, he does. You guys have very rainbow-centric shirts. I'm the only one who doesn't.
Raw Dogs is brought to you by our Patreon executive producers, Tikachu, Rai the Indie Games guy, the Kips of an Angel, King Kippo, and Ants in the Pants, Judge Tempest himself.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for your support. This is episode 2 of Indie Games Month, where we will briefly be discussing kind of a history of crowdsourced games, mostly some highlights and lowlights, and just if we have any personal experiences with them. I thought it'd be fun to kind of go through a list before.
I'm also doing a 5-hour James Lipton style inside the actor's studio.
Inside the Kickstarter studio with Dylan.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
Yeah, you should.
And then we're also going to be talking at length about Undertale and at drunk about Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Okay.
So right at the top here, let's just talk about crowdsourced indie games. So I put from great successes to mighty number 9s. The websites, Indiegogo started in 2008. Kickstarter was in 2009. The thing that kind of started this all off, and you and I watched some of it the other day, Dom, in February 2012, Double Fine Productions launched a Kickstarter for Double Fine Adventure. And this was kind of a revolution back in the day. This was a studio that was they were going to have to fire everybody because they weren't making money and no one was paying them to make games. So they started a Kickstarter from Tim Schafer, Double Fine, and you. They sought $400,000 for both the game and then to make the documentary, and they wound up raising $3.36 million.
Christ almighty.
In like 24 hours.
Yeah,
People love Double Fine.
Dude.
I mean, but when people are passionate about something, that happens like that.
Yeah. I mean, think about even like Bloodstained with Kogi Igarashi. It's just like...
It's great that this was one of the first times that indie games, at least of the modern era, were really to go, we don't need to deal with publishers. We can just go right to the people.
Yeah.
If you believe in us, give us your money, and nothing could go wrong.
No, immediately, here's one of the things I will say is that usually these backings are caveats. Unless your game is very inexpensive to make, you are just literally proving to investors that there's interest. Like that's what all these Kickstarters and stuff are for. Mm-hmm. You are going to get your benefits. You're just the super fans who helped it happen. But for the most part, it's literally just like, hey, listen, look how many people like this shit. And then investors will be like, yeah, so we can then kind of discern how many more will actually buy the game.
Yeah.
That's what most of this is for. Unless you're making a small game, then it doesn't matter.
There's something cool as a fan too. I've backed maybe 4 games at this point, none of which are out yet because they're all fairly recent, but it's cool knowing that you're supporting something you believe in.
Hentai Booby Jiggle isn't going to come out for a few years, you think?
It's still in development.
It's Booby Jiggle 2.
Oh, it's Booby Jiggle 2. Okay.
Yeah.
The first one didn't sell what they want.
Talk about a stretch goal.
Electric Boogaloo.
The aspect of fundraising, at least, I don't know if it was so much, it was back then, I know, but there's stretch goals, which is one thing where if we raise this much money, we can add a 2-player mode. This much money will add an online mode. This much money, free DLC for backers. And that's one aspect. And the other thing is unique pledges, where if you give us $30 physical game, $60 physical game plus poster, $100 plus vinyl, and so many of them, which baffling to me. $10,000. If you fly here, I'll eat with you.
Which,
Christ.
like,
You have to pay to fly out there?
So many of them are like traveling and lodging not included, but yes, we will eat with you at a restaurant of our choosing.
and also we're splitting the tab.
Yeah. So weird.
That's not even fair though. Like you could throw them the bone and give them a place to stay.
Yeah.
Christ.
It's one thing if you
10,000 is a lot.
It's one thing if you're in Japan and you're doing something there, which a few of these are, but
Okay. As an ex-airline employee, if they were like, yeah, you can choose whatever flight and we'll just whatever, I would go first class.
yes.
Personally. And those can get expensive.
Sure.
So did any of you play Broken Age? Because that's
did.
what Double Fine Adventure created ultimately.
After watching this,
Yes.
I went onto the eShop to look up to see if it was on sale. Mm-hmm. It wasn't. Because as you know, I don't.
You're a sale boy.
Yeah.
Don't buy games.
Same
I
here.
know. I still want to give them my money.
It's the first category I always go into. However, Broken Age has been on PS Plus.
Has it? Maybe I own it. Anyway.
I think I own it. Yeah.
So here's what I did instead.
I've looked
I
at your
went
entire
into my
catalog.
PlayStation library and I downloaded Day of the Tentacle Remastered.
Sure.
which is what they created before that.
Right.
Yes.
I have played this game probably, I would probably say I've played maybe 2 or 3 hours of it.
Yeah.
It's very good. But these types of games don't normally catch me very well. I think that it's an adventure game and there's a lot you have to kind of deal with in an adventure game. And I know I'm going to sound hypocritical in our upcoming episode with Kentucky Route Zero.
Yep.
But I think that those are 2 different things. And one of them, this is very much a video game. It's an adventure game. And Kentucky Route Zero is more of an experience. I will say it's good. Most people liked it.
I'm going to say don't get Broken Age. Just go to fangamer.com because they, at least when we recorded this, they still have the Double Fine Blu-ray, like four Blu-ray set, which is all of the creation of this game. It's only $5 plus shipping.
Yeah, and it's like a 6 DVD set or something like that.
It's so many discs.
I forgot to bring that home with me last time.
And it's great because it's just Tim Schafer is a charismatic motherfucker. He's so funny.
He's such a genius,
And
too.
there's a reason that some of the funniest creators are making these games because that's what draws people to them, because it's not the gameplay, a lot of it, but it's the jokes
Character.
and
It's
the story.
feel of the game.
Yeah.
It's the reason I have so much faith in Psychonauts 2.
Right. I was just about to say, if you don't know who we're talking about, these are the creators of Psychonauts and Brutal Legends with Jack Black. And
Which is interesting, Brutal Legends, because that seems...
Play that game,
And
actually.
it's really good. I had a great time.
Especially if
Until
you
the
like a
RTS
strategy
stuff.
game.
This is,
I like the
hated it.
strategy game
It's
part
not
of it.
entertaining.
I
Sorry.
enjoyed back then I was really into Tenacious D, so anything with Jack Black I was gung ho for.
Still
but,
am.
They also
stop.
did Grim Fandango,
Yes.
which I
One of
know
the best.
isn't a huge hit for a lot of people.
Really?
but
Oh,
I
it's
had
huge for a lot of people, actually.
I know, but I had a good time with it.
It was fantastic.
huge.
I think
Grim
there's-
Fandango killed the adventure game from publishers' eyes because it did so poorly despite winning Games of the Year.
Yeah.
That's what kind of killed adventure games until this came along as a Kickstarter.
Critical darlings, yeah.
Let's talk about something that failed as a Kickstarter. So after the raging success in February 2012 of Double Fine Productions, July 10th, 2012, a little company decided they wanted to make the Ouya game console.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
Sounds like my mom.
That's the most Midwestern game console ever. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you know?
Oh yeah.
I
Don't you know is like an add-on peripheral or
It's
something.
the one that was made in Minnesota.
Yeah,
I
the
thought it
don't you
was
know.
yeah, no.
yeah, no. Oh,
Yeah, no.
They sought to raise $950,000. They raised $8.6 million. It was a low-cost Android-based unit with an open development infrastructure allowing it to play mobile games. Units were delivered next year. They did deliver. Sadly, it was just like a little play mobile game apps on your TV at home.
Have you seen people? I've watched streams of people with Ouyas before the Ouya like network thing was shut down. And
I can't take this serious. I can't
Ouya.
take this seriously.
oh yeah, and and so I watched them play through some of these games, and they would quickly download because they're fucking mobile games, and this obviously has a higher processor
Yeah.
than any
Yeah.
mobile phone that you're ever gonna have. But I would watch them play some of these things, and it's just like, yeah, there's no curation. There was never any idea of what this was. They said, oh, it's gonna be like this free thing of like, oh, you can put on whatever you want to on here, and who cares?
And they even said like, hack it, go ahead, do what you want with it. They're like,
essentially,
great, it can play mobile games. I can't hack too much into this.
Yeah,
but yeah.
like there's only so much you can do with the
oh
sequence.
man, this would have been better on a touch screen.
Oh yeah, more like oh no.
Said no one ever.
Oh no.
Oh no.
They did try a few different ways to get more developers to come there, such as they will pay you a certain amount if you meet them.
Oh.
But then they made these deals, and then somebody else wound up buying Ouya in China, and then they didn't deliver on these deals. There's like a whole
That's a bad one.
there's a whole
Yeah, that's bad.
downward spiral of the Ouya.
Oh yeah.
I did want one at first. I did think it was going to change things, but whatever.
Or
no.
Our next
It was more graphically powerful than a Wii, and it had just come out like right after the Wii was ending, and I'm just like, yeah,
a
but if you can make,
lunchbox
like,
is more
budget
graphically powerful than a Wii.
games- like, yeah.
Our next stop in 2012 comes October 18th.
Okay.
This game still isn't out, but it's coming.
No, it's not.
Star
Nope.
Citizen,
Never coming out.
Sure it is.
developed
Citizen?
developed by Cloud Imperium Games.
I can't wait really though.
I've seen footage.
Okay, so what else have these
it's
people
the
made?
next Duke Nukem.
Great.
It's the spiritual successor to
Fuck
Wing
chicks in it.
spiritual successor to Wing Commander.
No.
Okay.
They raised over $2 million on Kickstarter. The estimated release was 2014. Since then, they have raised over $300 million more, and this is the highest funded crowd-funded project of all time.
Have you seen stuff about this, Brad?
Dude, it's apparently still coming. Like they're very serious. Like
there
it is coming.
there is actual gameplay footage now.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty good. It looks like a better Elite Dangerous, which
Yeah.
I already think Elite Dangerous is
Looks-
fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But for me, like, how could you, like, if I were someone who backed this originally, at some point I'd be like, oh, what? Now I have kids now and I can't fucking play this anymore. Like, I understand how long video game development takes, and especially for something so ambitious.
Within reason.
But for fuck's sake, when this comes out, it's not going to be good. Let's be clear. Something that takes this long
Yeah.
never turns out well because it usually has a lot of starts and stops and redos. And that doesn't always work the way you want it to.
And no engine behind it
No.
called passion.
Yep.
Like
Yeah. Well, it does.
There is, but it can't be consistent
there is some meth head game developer working in that studio right now who's just really tired of living and just wants this to happen so he can kill himself.
Imagine
That
like,
just hurt me, but
dude, 8 years they've been working on this.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's 8 years.
but that's the thing is like
That's not okay
Well,
for any development.
what if it comes
No.
out and it's fine? What
I
if it comes
will-
out and it's great? What if it's nothing? Like,
Well, then I'll eat my own butt. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'll
Dude,
apologize.
you'll
publicly.
I'll buy it for $10 when it's on sale and say, "Oh no, you poor Kickstarters."
what is 8 years
At least I got in
worth,
before inflation
though?
of 8 years.
Well, I don't know.
Like, what is 8 years worth?
Over $300 million, apparently.
Like, what type of quality is that worth? What type of hype is that? Like, that's the problem.
That's more than what they spent on Cyberpunk.
Yeah, like
So it's got to at least be better than that.
It's gotta be.
high bar.
Well, another big stinker from 2012, November 21st. Because after
Brad's cool game on Kickstarter.
after Double Fine's production, everyone was saying we're in, we're doing
Oh,
this,
they tried real hard.
including Peter Molyneux, who
Yeah, but that should have been a trigger word for all of the gamers. All of them.
He
Just
was
everyone.
he was coming off of what was the hotness that was his Cube app, which was very popular.
Yes, it
It was an experiment, and
It was.
a shitload of people played it. It was kind of cool, and you don't know what's inside the cube, whatever. That's fun. But November 21st,
It wasn't fun. I never got to play it. I didn't have a smartphone then. Come on.
they sought $545,000 and raised $638,000. If you pledged 5,000 euros, you got to go to E3 and get interviewed by G4 with Peter. They never delivered on many of their promises. So one of the things about the game Goddess, which was the name, the winner of the Cube app, the person who actually like clicked the last thing to open the cube, got to be a god in the Goddess game. Never delivered. Never. Poor fella.
Aw,
I've seen interviews with him. He said, "Well,
rude.
I mean, I was
He's still emailing them every day.
no. I'm
Still available.
Just wait.
Hey, I'm here.
He said he gave up when Peter didn't respond to maybe 5 emails, and he said, "Well, whatever. I don't really care. It was fine.
If you kick a chicken in my game,
You better believe there's a
your
hurricane."
uncle's gonna molest you. And then when the time skip happens, you kill your uncle. That's the kind of shit he
And then
was talking
you were
about.
never born.
This is a video game, but it's
And you
also
were never born
Life.
because the time loops on it, sir.
it's a living, breathing world. I'm Jason Statham.
I like that. Who on to Jason?
I'm sorry.
There was a joke for everyone in that.
Hey, I will say that I like Black and White too. That was fun. That was
So
fun.
in Fable,
Oh, is this the guy who made that?
He made Fable.
Oh, I did like that.
He did
I like
Fable.
Fable too. Okay,
Yeah,
now I know.
You like Fable,
Hey.
not Fable 2.
Fable was overpromised,
sucks
but it was
now.
a great game.
It
wasn't
was good at
It
the
was fun.
time.
my favorite line from that game is, "I'm sorry, I'm washing my hair."
Oh, mine is, "Hey, chicken chaser."
Pretty good. Pretty
man.
good.
Well, some good things have come from
I
Kickstarter.
can only think of the Guildmaster now.
Like your mom.
Damn it. No, it's just in my head.
April 2013, my mom was crowdfunded.
Yeah. Way to go, Brad.
Is that an actual game?
No, I'm going to
Oh,
cut that
okay.
joke out. November 21st. April 2013, Yacht Club Games. They put Shovel Knight on there. They sought to raise $75,000. They were able to raise $311,000. If you met the pledge goal of $5,000, you got to go on a yacht party with Yacht Club Games.
That's kind of cool.
50 backers made this, and they got to go on a big yacht party with everybody.
Hell yeah! So they
feel
delivered.
like
on it.
I would debate
Fuck
actually
yeah.
doing this if I had that money. I would be like, "Hey, everyone, how's it going? You want to party?" Yeah, dude. Fucking sick.
But you'd be like, well, wait, Dylan Knight, think about it.
I'd be like, "It's the Dylan night. He can have an alcohols and he'll fight people.
His ability is to get drunk.
His ability is to cry
And then
on
Dylan-
the enemies." Ooh.
And then Dylan falls off the yacht.
Hey,
I'm like, "Goodbye, I can swim."
water is effective against fire.
The fire in my soul? No, not that.
Some stretch goals. If they were able to raise $160,000, there would be gender swap available, where there'd be another character of another gender. $300,000.
Shovel Knight.
all bosses in battle mode, which it's cool to have stretch goals when they're met and they're cool. Shovel Knight is a hero of crowdsourced games. He's showed up in many
He's got a fucking amiibo now.
He has a fucking toy at Arby's.
Wait, for real?
I have
They
two
had
of
a
them.
toy. Brad has Brad has one of the toys. He got a cheddar melt like a good boy.
I got the kid. You mean the kids cheddar melt where you get them?
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah,
Was it small?
it was the same thing but smaller.
Okay.
I kind of love it though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Arby's
it's like a cap shooter.
Arby's
or
also
something,
had Cuphead toys. Indie games love Arby's, I guess.
Arby's is fucking delicious, and their French dip is still kind of really good. And I was hoping that I
Really
would be proven
yeah.
wrong, but every time I have Arby's now, don't get their crinkle cut fries. Always get their
the Curlies.
Curly's.
yeah the
I
Curlies.
absolutely
They have
love
crinkle
where
cuts
this
now.
is going.
What I'm saying here though, listen, when I did Lyft and Uber full time, Arby's was like a staple of my life. It's also why I gained 40 pounds, then lost it, then gained it back during
wanna see
pandemic.
Arby's has any fucking indie game toys right now.
Well, we should be. Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, Shovel
could it
Knight.
possibly be?
Shovel Knight is a great game.
Do
Is
you
it like
miss those
Secret
tracks
Neighbor?
back there?
Tracks.
The train tracks that we just derailed off.
You're gonna have to deal with it.
No,
When you type in Arby's kid meal toys, the first one that pops up is Shovel Knight.
yeah, I don't know if
Is
they
it
still
still
have
going?
them, but
They don't know, but
But Shovel Knight is a fantastic game, and I think one of the most successful video games backed on Kickstarter. Regardless of like how much they were supported, as far as the game that was put out and the love that
Yeah.
was cultivated
Oh, yeah.
from it, Shovel Knight's a fucking bomb, and
It's one of the best
in a
games
good
made
way.
in the decade.
Yeah.
And they delivered too on.
I'm not even like. I don't particularly like the style of the game, and I still just like fell in love with the charm of like the art style and the actual the gameplay itself. Too.
Mega Man plus DuckTales.
yeah.
And they actually got composers from some of those games to work on tracks. It's
It is such a
chiptune.
whip. It is such a whip ass soundtrack.
Well, and they were able to take. What do you got, Dom?
they even did Fruit Ninja.
Oh no,
Arby's. Sorry.
a place that doesn't have fruits.
But it looks like Sonic even got in on it.
they have like weird pie things.
Yeah, Arby's is cool.
Yeah.
They got weird berry pies or something.
But they were able to reach stretch goals to have other campaigns with different characters, which they delivered on.
Holy shit, did they?
Yeah.
It took them a while, but good God.
It doesn't matter how long they
Three-
take, because I'd rather wait a year to have the done right.
Yep.
Well, it's basically 3 expansions. You've got the Plague Knight expansion, the Spectre Knight expansion, and the King Knight expansion. The King Knight expansion has a full card game in it that they had to develop. It's very good. It's like Triple Triad, but better. Put it that way.
Back to the stinker category. August 2013, Keiji Inafune hadn't been getting recognized enough, so he said, I want to make a game.
Oh, yeah.
And it was called Mighty Number 9.
Oh, God.
No,
Because Mega Man
hurts.
is a loved icon
hurts.
of video games. So let's make a turd that looks like a knockoff and make a bad game about it.
yeah,
Originally supposed to be hand-drawn,
Well,
which they backed out of.
cowardly.
the biggest problem was
Pursue your artistic dream.
they didn't adequately make their stretch goals realizable, because they didn't understand that if you raise this much money, you'll have this much to create, because they didn't realize how taxes work, and that the company
Didn't realize?
that they didn't realize they didn't have all the money that they thought they were
What,
raising.
was Capcom just like hiding the financials?
This
from
wasn't
him?
this wasn't Capcom.
No, I know, but like if he knew how game development already worked, he can't be that fucking stupid.
They had less money than they thought they were going to, and they had a number of stretch goals that said it would be available on 9 different consoles, and they
Wii U
just
one never came out.
well the Wii U one, I think the Vita, there was a few, because they said there was like it's on everything, and they didn't realize that's not as easy as you think.
Oh, shit. How are we going to make this for the Ouya?
They pictured going
no.
copy. They pictured going to the file, going copy, paste, PlayStation.
Changing the file name to PSV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It didn't work.
I made it a JPEG.
They saw, well, this was very exciting. They sought to raise $900,000. They raised over $4 million.
Wow. Fucking shit.
Before the game was out on June 7th, 2015, they announced the Mighty Number 9 film was going to happen. They started another Kickstarter before
Just like the Sly Cooper movie that's supposed to come out.
Before this was out, they said, we're doing a Mega Man Legends 3 Kickstarter, but it's called something else, like Red Dawn or something, Red Scare. I forget what it was, but they didn't.
Red Dawn.
They didn't raise enough to do that one, and they're like, it's still going to happen, but it took forever to make. If you pledge $10,000, you have dinner with KJ Inafune, and the game came out a big wet fart with all of the like the physical rewards being delivered so late. I was glad I didn't back this. I was excited when they were talking about it because I'm like, I like Mega Man, another Mega Man game, but then Mega Man 11 comes out and it's another Mega Man game.
And it's good.
And it's really good.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, my frustration with it was just like, there was so much hype built up over it and storytelling and like the commercialism of it worked.
And there was no wank material, no waifus.
I don't particularly care about robot waifus.
Ooh, then you're living life the wrong way,
Dude,
my man.
Dude,
Fair enough.
the possibilities are endless for a robot. So
Touche.
June 2015, not a wet fart or a good game, but something that happened. I don't know. It's debatable, but June 2015, Ukulele sought $212,000.
Ukulele's good.
They raised $2.5 million. Whether or not it's good is up for debate.
It is fine. I will say that.
It scratched an itch for me that I needed.
Didn't scratch the Banjo-Kazooie itch that I wanted. However,
I know.
If they hadn't made this, then they wouldn't have made
The Impossible Lair.
Yeah, which is good.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's like it's a good Donkey Kong by Rare.
Yeah. It's so good.
Ooh.
It's actually very good.
I have not played this game, and now I need to.
Now
Yeah,
you have
it's a two-dimensional side scroller.
It is essentially Donkey Kong.
It's
Yeah,
fucking rad. It's so
it's
good.
fucking sick.
Yeah.
It's on Game Pass.
I don't have Game Pass.
June
Sons of
18.
Dom and you will play it.
June 18, 2019. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night and Koji Igarashi. That must be the release date because that game came out in 2019, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was the first with hybrid crowdfunding where the developers have gained potential financial commitment from investors, and they use the crowdfunding mechanism to demonstrate demand and supplement dollar bills, y'all. They sought $500,000 and they raised $5.5 million. Stretch goals. If they reach $1.25 million, local co-op. Does this exist?
No.
Probably not.
Because that was something that was met. $3 million Wii U port. I put LOL. Mm-hmm. $3.5 million Vita port. I put LOL. If you pledge $3,000, your pet can be made into an in-game enemy. We remember some of those wonderful dogs and cats. Mm-hmm. Those were from pledgers.
And
those are real animals.
There were paintings too.
That was another pledge goal. Yep.
Yeah.
$10,000. Dinner with Igarashi at a horror-themed restaurant, and you can play games with him. Comes with a ring glass, a glass, and a portrait in game.
Now, okay, so I have a question for the people who've actually may have done this.
If you're listening, reach out to us.
Please fucking reach out to us. Because I can't imagine a scenario where I am paying to be someone's friend for a night.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man? People do it all the time. Haven't you ever heard of fraternities and sororities?
But no, I mean, yeah, I guess I never paid my dues and they never figured it out. No, but for me, like the idea of like, let's say Sakurai is like, he offers something like this.
I'll buy him a beer, but I'm not paying $10,000 to go eat food with him.
Yeah.
Now let's say I hang out with him.
I agree. He deserves.
You're
a beer.
just a normal person with cultural differences. Do we know that these people are conversationalists? Like, it's not like they're going to entertain you.
No,
they're going to
you're
be like,
paying
we're going to
to
go.
hang out with them.
Okay.
What are you going to play?
Okay, you show up at Applebee's, and then
okay.
there's a coffin.
Paint me a picture.
You sit down, and the server comes over. Hey, would you like a margarita? And you're like, sure. And there's a coffin in the corner that all of a sudden springs open, and Igarashi steps out. And he throws a wine glass on the ground. He says, "Oh, hi, thank you for supporting us." That's all the English I know. And that's it.
And then he goes back in the coffin.
You get a bloomin' onion, and then you go play arcade at like the opening claw game. Oh. And then that's it. There's $10,000.
I
The
win
coffin
like
bit would have been worth it for me alone, I think.
So in the claw, I'm picturing in the claw game, I pick up a Minions character, and I win the minion for him, and I said, I won this for you, Sensei, and he goes, very good.
Very good. Very good,
and
Dylan.
then you go,
And then I'm like, he's gonna remember me. And then as he leaves, before he gets back into his coffin, he just throws it in the trash. And then as I walk out, I look into the trash and I see the minion there, and I go,
What? No. What?
Didn't
No.
you
like
take it
Kevin?
out?
I
Dylan.
should have got him Bob.
Dylan, you'd give him the minion. You'd give him the minion, and he'd go, "What is a minion?" And he'd throw it away.
What is a minion?
Instead of what is a man?
What is a man?
What is a minion?
I
a
would
stretch.
dig it out of the trash because then you have that memory instead of him.
Well,
This
then I
would-
John Wick his ass in
Yeah, well.
Japan.
You'd go to eBay.
and as he's bleeding out, you put it down on his chest.
You'd go to eBay and you'd put
hope you remember
Igarashi's
this.
minion.
Yeah.
Igarashi's minion on eBay.
And
2000.
sell it for $10,000 and get your money back.
If I got a pic, I'm imagining a selfie of us, like a selfie stick, and then he's holding it. He looks very confused, and I'm just like smiling.
Americans.
But we do love.
I prefer the Kevin doll,
We do love.
but I got the
Bloodstained.
Bob.
November 19, 2019, Shenmue 3, also hybrid funded. They sought $2 million and they raised $6.3 million.
Oh, man.
That game turned out to be an absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
But if you pledged $10,000, you could have dinner with the creator, LOL.
What is this?
that? They,
So that didn't happen either then.
no, that did.
Someone
People
did.
had dinner.
People, why is
love
that like
Shenmue.
their... No, I know that. But like, why is that...
And people will
Dude, at
do
least
it.
yacht
I know,
clubs.
but the yacht club thing was so much cooler.
I mean,
Like, going
yeah,
on
you
a
get to go
yacht,
on a boat
like,
party and don't have to just hang out with a celebrity.
Right, exactly. But at the same time, in a restaurant of our choosing, they're going to take you to Applebee's.
No. I mean, at least with Iga, it said it's a horror-themed restaurant, which will be all gimmicks and not good food. But at least it's like not
Entertaining,
Applebee's. It's
maybe?
Applebee's with cobwebs.
Well, it's usually a pop-up
It's just Applebee's
Japan cafe
on Halloween.
If they take me to the fucking movies pop up at Uptown, I'm gonna be so
Oh,
pissed.
Fuck off with
It's like a
shit.
Juwan themed restaurant. I'm like,
And-
what am I going to eat here?
The last Kickstarter game we just wanted to mention, August 2019. I wanted to mention anyways. August 2019, 2020. Ayuden Chronicles, the spiritual successor to Suikoden, my favorite game series of all time, and Yoshitaka Miriyama. This is another. The creator is trying to make something outside of Konami or outside of the company. He sought $500,000, raised $4.375 million.
Wow.
Personal facts. I want you guys to know that I pledged $200 for the
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ.
physical version. I'll get a
Wait. Vinyl?
button, soundtrack CD, vinyl, and 2 job reward sets. Which one I get like a script and like a scenario book, as well as I haven't choose the other.
How
job
many
reward set,
discs
though.
is the vinyl?
2? It's a double vinyl that'll be colored and only for backers allegedly.
Cool. I mean, I feel like you would have paid $200 for that alone.
So yeah, something that's for something in Suikoden is that there's 108 characters, and Ayuden Chronicle is like the 100 hero story, and there's pledge goals to unlock 8 more characters. So we unlocked all 108 plus a free DLC plus an extended like side story. But I'm excited to see where it goes. Kickstarter facts: 43% of game projects successfully complete their funding, a slightly better average than all other projects on that service.
If I can just cut in real quick, I love going back one step. I love that you said we, because that's what Kickstarter is all about. You know, it's your game.
Yeah.
It is part of your game, and that's like the beauty of it.
And yes.
I do encourage people to support games that interest them. Like
I-
keep on doing it. It's always awesome. It's always
I
cool.
think the sentiment is fine. I think the application is devastatingly stupid. And I think that we live in an era where everything is so much about,
co-opted.
well, it's not even about being co-opted. I think it's more or less about the fact that we're all in this fucking state where we have to end up helping each other rather than the people up top giving you just a little bit more money for like nothing else.
Well, but don't. I mean,
No, that is exactly what it is.
No. But like video games, it's fine to be upset about that. I'm more upset when somebody has to crowdfund their cancer treatment.
Yes,
That's what we're upset about.
I'm upset about most of any of that.
The fact that the Suikoden creator can't get money to make another Suikoden without crowdfunding is that's little less heartbreaking.
That's also, but it's also ludicrous because those games always
We're
did
amazing.
well.
Yeah.
They always did well.
And we don't like Ludacris, we like Coolio.
At patreon.com.
If you give us $10,000, we'll have dinner with you.
Yeah, for real. And it won't be at an Applebee's.
Yeah. Let's hang out.
All right. Let's talk about. We were going to talk about only Kickstarter games in this episode, but due to some scheduling, we're talking about Untitled Goose Game. This wasn't a Kickstarter game.
No.
This is one that I chose for this episode. Why did I choose it?
Because you're a simp, yo.
Because
The one that is a Kickstarter game, though, that's Kentucky.
Kentucky Route Zero is a Kickstarter
which will
game.
be our next episode.
We're saving it for the next one because
So-
we kind of realized there wouldn't be enough time. But Untitled Goose Game is a game that I chose. I could have chose Celeste or Bloodstained or games that I love, but I haven't played Untitled Goose Game, and I thought it'd be fun to have a light, weird option in this because a lot of the games people were choosing were kind of heavy or bullet hell or intense. Or,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I said, how about a 2-hour Goose Game? And
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect because all I remember is I played maybe 10 minutes and
Did-
Carly thought it was amazing.
Well, and the fun part is that you chose Metal Gear Solid mixed with Hitman mixed with a Goose Game.
Mixed with Hot Fuzz, maybe? It's definitely, it's got a very British sensibility to it.
It's got an
Mixed
English
with Monty
countryside.
Python.
Well, it's
That's where it is.
it's an Australian game, right?
It is Australian, yes. Release date for this.
So more of a Babe or Babe 2 Pig in the City.
Oh, man. Now we're talking. Release date for Untitled Goose Game was September 20th, 2019 for Mac OS and Switch. December 17th, 2019. It came out for the PS4 and the Xbox One. Developed by House in Melbourne, Australia. It's a 4-person indie team.
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Oh, fuck you. I lived over in that part of the
Yeah,
world.
they don't know how to pronounce words because I took Hooked on Phonics and I know how to say it.
Well, if you're listening, Lame Dog Dad, we love you.
Is he from Melbourne?
He's from Australia. I don't think he's from Melbourne, though.
I'm sure he would agree with us, actually, so it's fine.
It's a puzzle stealth game. It won DICE Game of the Year.
Cool.
The development was there was a stock photo of a goose in the office, and they just started talking about geese, and they wound up making a game about it.
Because they're fucking assholes, yeah.
They're fun. I don't know.
I've never seen a goose do any of the things that I did in this game.
I've seen it be dicks.
I've seen a goose bite a child's face.
A goose bit my nose.
It must have been terrifying for.
What? Hey, Nick.
Might have been me.
What did you do to make it mad, though?
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
It wasn't me. It was my best friend Austin.
What did he do?
He poked it in the butt.
And like geese, there are geese that live at the park nearby, and Carly and I always go for walks around there. And if you get within 10 feet, they'll look at you and they'll say "fuck you" and they'll hiss and come towards you. Like geese don't give a fuck. It is an aspect of their personality, but I like that you described it as a Hitman Metal Gear Solid. It's a stealth type
It's a
game?
stealth type game.
Yeah,
it totally
essentially.
is. I love games that make me like think about how I have to approach the problem. I love games that make me think about how I'm going to approach a problem open-endedly way more. And like that's why like a lot of how this game works is learn the patterns, figure out how the puzzle works, wait, analyze, act.
If the
I love that.
If the gardener gets upset when you grab the cabbage, and he grabs the cabbage from you, if you turn the water on first, then he has to turn the water off, then you grab the cabbage.
Yep.
Well, it's a causality. I do like
It's
the
reasoning.
It's causality.
Yeah.
It's literally just like if I can like set up these 3 things in a row, it's an exercise in critical thinking, which I loved about this game. There were certain times I was technically
Yes.
I was technically confused.
Well, I
There were points. I get what you're saying, and I'm sorry to cut you
ahead,
off,
go
but
ahead.
there's a to-do list in every level that you go through.
Yep.
And you'd always get to, you didn't have to do all of them. I think every single one except for one, and you could still move on to the next portion.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something inside my brain that just, I was like,
Completionist.
I gotta fucking figure out how to get this goddamn
yeah.
gardener to put on that other hat.
Wear your sun hat. What is wrong with
How do I do that? It's right here and I'm honking at it.
Whoa, this
How do I do it?
So, Dom, you
is
brought us
strong.
a special beer for Untitled
Yes,
Goose
I
Game.
did.
It
So
smells
this-
amazing.
This
Does it smell
beer
amazing?
is a collaboration with
actually do like
1840 and Untitled Art. It is a dried hopped watermelon lime goose.
Oh, that's what I'm smelling.
It's a
So
goose.
it-
It's a goosa.
It is a
Goosey.
Untitled Goose beer for Untitled Goose Game.
Goosa for this one. Anyways.
You got so clever, and we do have to thank
Sure.
Katie
Yes.
Bone.
Katie Bone, Dr. Bone, who is one of our newest subscribers on Patreon.
Yep.
I stole this out of her fridge.
Oh.
And by stole it, I mean Jamie gave it to me, but still, it disappeared out of her fridge while she was out of town.
Did it turn you on when you stole it?
It kind of did, because I was looking for beers for this episode. I was gonna just do something from Goose Island, which is a brewery out of Illinois,
that's a
and
pretty
I was
obvious
like,
one.
but the second I saw Untitled Art, and it's
a goza.
I pronounce it Goose though.
So
So I just thought it was a perfect beer. But anyway, thank you, Katie.
You need some hooked on
Continue
phonics.
So the story of Untitled Goose Game, you play as a character named Sora, and
And you
no.
wield the mythical keyblade.
no, you are a goose, and
Specifically an asshole goose.
Yeah, and okay. Well, before we dive too deep into this, if this is your first time listening, this is a lore podcast. We are going to spoil the shit out of
Oh
this
yeah,
game.
get prepared for deep dives.
well, guys, they don't know who the goose's father is yet. So
Right.
Darth Goose. Whoops.
Darth Honker.
But specifically,
Vader means father.
When you get to the end of this game and realize why he's doing all this shit, you're like, really?
I guess. I mean, how else would? Well, okay. So it's broken into.
I didn't finish this game. Is there actually an ending?
no, well,
There is an ending, yeah,
the-
but we'll get to it because it'll be a surprise for you too.
In Untitled Goose Game, it's broken down into 4 different areas plus a small 5th area. But you were given a list in each area, and like Dom was saying, let's talk the garden. There is get into the garden, get the groundskeeper wet, steal the groundskeeper's keys, make the groundskeeper wear his sun hat. My personal favorite, rake in the lake.
Breaking the leg.
And then there's always one that is have a picnic or like move a bunch of items into one location.
May I say, some of the reason that I hate video games when you're first starting to play a video game is the tutorial. And
Yeah.
this is a tutorial level,
Yeah.
and it doesn't feel like
I was
it.
gonna say it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It
not.
is
It's not
because
egregious,
it's
though.
teaching you, like, hey, these are the things you need to do. We're not going to tell you how to do them, but once you figure out how to do everything in this level, you're going to be fine for the rest of the game.
And, well,
But I think that's just good game design. I don't even think that's a tutorial. I think
there's-
I feel like that's a good first level.
Right, but it's
Like-
it's
like
get the
Mario
guy.
1-1.
It's-
If they just said
Literally.
Yeah.
if get the farmer wet or the gardener wet wasn't on there, I wouldn't know that you would have to do other things in order to do other things.
But those are also tasks that you're given later, so they're just
That's
setting
what
up
I'm saying.
expectation.
It's
which
a
isn't-
tutorial level, but it doesn't feel like a tutorial level.
Most
And that's
of
why I think this game
But
is
it's
so
not.
good.
But tutorials are usually based on the inputs you put into the controller. It's not based on objectives.
let's talk about buttons you put into the controller. Okay, so there is the essential honk button, which will honk. Then there is, of course, the flap your wings out button, which doesn't serve a purpose other than No, it doesn't. There's nothing it does other than
Finger just went up.
Satisfaction.
other than it feels really good when you fuck with someone and you flap your wings at them. Like, that feels cool.
Later in the game, you do need it
For what?
for those two ladies.
Only to follow commands from somebody, but
Other than that, yeah, it does feel kind of fun to run really fast and have your wings out.
and it's fun. I mean, it's great because it's got an English sensibility where there's something about an English pub and the precision and hoity-toityness that they feel about like this needs to be proper and in place. And I'm going to have a pint at the pub and no funny stuff. And then a goose just comes and grabs a mug. Like that's the perfect scenario. If it was in America, it'd be less funny. Like a New York Philly cheesesteak shop, they just shoot the goose in the head. I don't know, it wouldn't be funny.
We don't call the cops around here.
Or in China, they just like hack its head off.
They would
leave
serve
it.
the goose.
They would leave it on.
They would just cook it.
Yeah, they leave the heads on.
They just
But they
put a
just
pillow
throw
to
it
its
directly
head?
in the
To
oven.
be honest,
Yeah.
that goose would be cooked so well in its own fat.
Oh hell yeah!
Dude, it would be so like juicy. All I did
Wait,
was
are
want
we-
to eat the goose.
Are we
man.
talking about the goose that we play as?
Yeah, I would love to eat that goose.
Have you had Peking duck?
Oh my god,
It's so
dude.
good. And I imagine
like
Peking
legit
goose
Peking
Okay.
duck.
is good.
So I'm scarred from the Yakuza series. I have no interest in ever eating
Why?
Peking because it always goes wrong.
Why?
It's just a theme in the
Are
games.
you going to the shitty ones and
No. I'm talking about the Yakuza series of games.
I know.
Eating duck, Untitled Goose Game.
Yes.
I mean, they're kind of ducks.
So you have a couple of different sections. Then the next is the high street. There's some fun stuff where you have to like trap a boy in a phone booth and swap
That
some
one's
items
fun.
around.
That one's fun.
Mostly though, it's a simple, straightforward game. There's some very fun little segments like the back gardens where you have to pit two neighbors against each other and get them to do different things.
Which is also very fun.
I mean, it's just being like a force of chaos. It's so much fun to just do.
Everything is neat and put in its place, and you are the goose.
I do have a question about this game, and I'm asking for you guys because I technically got bored with this game after a while.
Okay.
I don't have I think it's a good video game. No, but I'm asking you guys, would this be worth a second playthrough
No.
for you?
Yes.
I would play through it co-op mode because there is a co-op mode where there is unique challenges, and I wouldn't mind doing that.
There's some trophies that I don't know what else
They
I've got to
are.
do in there.
Sure.
If you're a trophy hunter, this game has a lot of possibilities because I never picked up a cabbage out of the garden because I didn't have to. It's not on the list.
Yeah.
Is that a trophy? I don't know. Probably not, but
I was gonna say that's arbitrary, and I
you know,
hate it.
but like there are probably things in this game when you go to
Yeah.
the supermarket in the second level, there's a lot of things there that you just don't touch.
yeah,
See, and I
And
get
what can you touch there to bring somewhere else? Because there's one trophy in particular when we get to the pub section that I didn't realize was a trophy. I just wanted to throw something in the river.
I
The,
get
the pint glass?
No, well, after I did the pint glass, I was like, oh, I wonder how far I can get that boat to go.
Yeah.
okay,
But
I get the completionist like
mentality,
urge,
yeah.
but there comes a certain point where open-ended games need to be open-ended. Like you can't chase down every facet because they have teams of 30 people working on different ways of figuring out this one
But this
problem.
isn't open ended.
I was very happy to do the first to-do list on each level.
Yeah.
After you beat the game, they give you an extra list, and I said no. I chose
even know that.
I chose this game, and I thought it was cute and concise, and I really liked it. But I found the soundtrack to get annoying after a while. That little
Yeah.
boop, 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 that little piano that like
When you're-
meanders
when you're-
along.
Yeah, when you're running.
And I was like, I fucking had enough of you. I don't want that soundtrack, but
Any repetitive,
I thought it was-
like super repetitive.
I thought it was fun because it changes each level you go to.
and it gets more hectic when things get hectic for you. I do like that, but at the after the pub level, you make it to the model village, which is a miniature version of the village you just went through.
Which is crazy because the castle is also a miniature castle inside of the miniature. It's so funny.
It's beautiful. But you steal a miniature golden bell from the castle as the goose, and then you have to carry the bell all the way back through the entire game to where you started. So then it becomes...
Dylan, I don't know if you saw the like pile of bells that's in your quote unquote house where you start.
I played this very high.
But okay, but you get you get the bell, and now the thing is you have to run through the entire game you went through, but you make noise and everyone's pissed at you, so you can't get caught with the bell. So that becomes like, oh, nice. Like, how else do you end the Goose Game? Do you have a boss battle? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's a true challenge, but also
they don't want
though.
you to have this bell. So every time you're running through, they're like, "Give us this goddamn bell." And when you bring it home, when you finally get to the end, you go back to where you started.
Darth Vader is waiting for you.
And there's a pile of bells there. And you drop it in, and it is in more. So the entirety of this game is this goose is an asshole because he likes shiny things and he's just trying to get his bell. And you can tell because every single level, the way for you is blocked by a sign that is like gooses aren't allowed here. That when they take that sign and move it and put it like, then you are able to go to the next level. Right? So you've clearly gone through this game several times.
Are you really analyzing the goose's feelings?
Man.
I just had to cut you off there because I was literally listening to you talk, and I'm like, okay.
Well, I was like, why does this lady have fucking holes all over her fence? Why?
Yeah, because
the goose has gone through to get the bell.
The goose is a plague on society. It's a menace. He is Chris Tucker
or Spider-Man.
Or Spider-Man. He's a menace. Give me that goose.
It's just an allegory for all of our true problems.
The goose is the alcoholism, the depression that is behind all of our lives. It is the skeleton in the closet that makes us drink whiskey. That it's the goose in our closet. I will say this: Untitled Goose Game. Very cute, very fun. It's one of the only video games I've ever put on, and Carly was excited to play.
Strong play once recommendation.
My ex also felt the same way and literally took the controller out of my hands. I will also say this game is gorgeous.
And the first time...
For how minimalistic it is,
yeah,
fantastic. Nobody has a face. They just have noses.
You don't need any more.
The first time that everyone hits the honk button, they smile because it's fun
and it's so doofy.
And that bit when you figure out like, and it probably, I don't know how long it took you guys to figure out, but when the objective is make the gardener hit his thumb with a hammer, you're like, I know exactly what to do.
Honk at the right
time. You just wait for him to go, and you go.
Oh, I took one of the gardening tools and stabbed him in the leg.
That did it.
Yeah.
I used my fire breath.
I said, crossover with Hitman.
Oh, fireballs.
Yeah.
I recommend checking out Goose Game if you want to. It's fun.
It's a short, quick experience. And honestly, this game is maybe more famous for being kind of memey or like...
Probably.
There is a good...
When it came out, it really
kind of a disservice.
It took the internet by storm to the point where like my parents knew what it was.
I'm not saying it's a
My mom knew what
masterpiece.
my mom mentioned it to me.
Yeah.
You like video games, right? My coworkers told me about this. And my mom does not give a fuck.
I will bring up one comment. Tom found podcast notes in his Garth Brooks tab book because Tom has a Garth Brooks tab book.
Mm-hmm. Of course he does.
He wrote...
And the thunder rolls.
He wrote, Untitled Goose Game is awesome. 4 exclamation points. Please, God, play this game. So I don't know if he was actually talking to God, hoping God played the game.
The best way is through a Garth Brooks tab.
I'll tell you what, God has played this game.
God's watching Garth Brooks or Chris Gaines.
God is a goose. But yes, we are going to hear from some of the other amazing shows from the Greenlit Podcast Network, and we're going to be talking next at length about Undertale.
My favorite.
We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, and we're back for the second time because Brad forgot to hit record. Just kidding, that never happens. So we're going to be talking about a delicious little game called Undertale. While I pretend to pour these beverages one more time, Nick, could you describe why you chose Undertale as the game you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. It is the first game that I thought of when I heard that our theme for the month was going to be indie games, and it just felt like the right thing to choose because it was this one guy sitting on his computer. This is a very vast summarizing of it, but it was just one dude working on a project for way too long, making it work and with too little money and making his vision become a thing. It's art in a nutshell.
Undertale is a Kickstarter game. They sought $5,000. They raised $51,000. Unique pledge goal of $1,000 allowed your fan troll to become canon. Only one backer. This causes controversy we'll talk about later. Released on Windows and OS X September 2015. PS4 and Vita August 2017. Switch 2018 and Xbone March 2021. So we have a special drink in honor of the titular Flowey from the game. This was brought by Dom. What do we have here?
We have Owl's Brew Boozy Tea. It is a Darjeeling tea with hibiscus flower notes.
Flowery
And
notes.
I
Flowey
picked
notes.
this one out for Flowey.
We have it for
Yeah.
Flowey.
Immediate tasting notes for me.
Okay.
It was a little cranberry-ish on the front. Got a little syrupy, and then backed off into the hibiscus.
It tastes a little bit like
The smell is very flowery.
It tastes like half monster, half human, crammed into like a godlike flower being.
And the son
With
of
a
like
weird-
the antagonist and one of your favorite characters.
It has lingering notes of like a not great boss battle. Dylan, can you describe a little bit of the story premise for the where we are at the beginning of the game? What is happening?
Yes.
A
So
long time ago, in a million years from now.
you are
It's not Way of the Warrior.
what's the little girl's name? Frisk.
Is it a girl?
No, it's a girl.
It's a
It's a
boy.
person. It's a little.
Oh, it
person.
is a person, isn't it?
But it's a little girl. Let's be clear.
And her
It's a
name is
boy.
Frisky?
It's not a boy.
Well, I consider it a boy.
Did you think it was a boy?
I'm pretty
I thought it
sure
was a
I
boy.
RPG'd it as a boy.
It's a character with an ambiguous character design that is meant to be interpreted.
Their name's Frisk. Maybe non-binary. Let's put it that way.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Then we're just going with that.
But
It doesn't matter.
A child.
A child. It doesn't fucking matter. It never matters. God damn it! I'm digging myself a hole. What I'm saying is,
You're not
at
at
the beginning
all.
of the game, you are a human who falls down into the underworld, and there is a goat monster named Toriel who takes you in and kind of teaches you the layout of the world in this pseudo kind of Undertale way. It is very fourth wall breaking and explains the world to you. From there on, you can kind of choose what you're going to actually do within the world itself.
What's the gameplay like in this, Nick?
Well, I mean, it is faux standard RPG ish.
It starts very standard.
I mean, it is the initial push of the game is 100% feel your RPG genes settle into you and do whatever you want.
Can you describe what the battle system is like?
Well, so I did have the game spoiled for me before I played it.
Oh, boo.
I
That
know.
sucks.
But don't explain what the gimmick is. Explain what the actual system requires of you.
Sure. So you do have your standard attack option, standard RPG fare, and then you have a mercy option, I believe it's called. Spare.
yeah.
Which you then go into this like separate little mini game-ish type thing It's most of the time bullet helly-ish.
It starts off like a turn-based battle, and then there's also talk where you can speak with your enemies, and there's, depending on who you're fighting, pet, insult, yell, massage, coerce. It's got everything.
They have a lot of different options.
But regardless, though, you do wind up in I wouldn't say bullet hell, because most of it isn't bullet hell, but it's a scenario where you control
dodging.
a little heart. But bullet hell to me is like a billion things, which happens in some battles.
Sometimes.
You just have to make sure your heart symbol doesn't touch any of the white
It's operation.
pixels. Yes,
Except for when
it's
your heart
operation.
is blue, in which case...
Yeah, but we're getting a little
Right.
deep dive on
That's
that.
yeah. The way it starts out is it's basically operation, and you don't want to touch the sides.
I love the layers that build on it.
Oh, yeah,
I like
no,
that
it's-
too with the green and
Yeah.
absolutely.
But it starts off very straightforward, standard RPG fare. Your character, it's very cute. It's all 8-bit, and it's
Very reminiscent of Mother.
yes. There's
the Earthbound series.
as a diehard of that series, who's played every single one all the way through, yeah, it's very close.
Yeah,
And-
but I'm sure that was the inspiration.
well, the first enemy you run into is a flower, and it's super cute because it teaches you about how the battle system works, and you're like, okay, I understand this, and then the flower smile turns into a very evil look, and it says, don't you like kill or be killed? This is a tough world, you little shit. It doesn't say shit, but it tells you very quickly that this don't trust me, don't trust them, kill who you can. No one's gonna look out for you, and it tries to violently kill you before you're rescued. Then
So this game, I did not know anything about. I went in because you picked it, and I played it.
in blind.
Oh,
I
my
went in blind,
goodness.
totally blind. All I knew it was made by one dude, and that at some point he got hired to do the music for Game Freak's new game, which didn't do too well. We're not talking about that game. We're talking about this one, which again, didn't know anything, dove straight in. First being in there tells you, dude, it's kill or be killed. Like I literally just tried to kill you. So I played this game, murder everybody. And we will talk about what happens.
as a little bit as we
At
go
the
along,
very end of this conversation.
and as we go along.
Yeah.
But this first dungeon then turns into a very cutesy. You have your mother figure, Toriel.
And she leads you along through the traps.
Well,
and,
she's like,
it's really cute.
She's like, this is a
She's
spike
a
trap.
total sweetheart.
This is a spike trap, but I'll just hold your hand and take you through. Yeah. And yeah, then she says, this is a dummy. This is what a battle will be like. Just talk to it. And then you go into the battle and you talk to the dummy and it says, it's a dummy. It doesn't talk back. And she's like, I'm so proud of you. Good job. Fuck yes.
Okay,
And then you go.
all this is saying is listen to your mother.
Well, then you go to her house and she refuses to let you leave. And you're like, I have to get out of here because I have to get home. I shouldn't be underground with the monsters.
Shouldn't be a human in this world, yeah.
And you have to fight her because she's like, prove to me you can leave. And this is where Dom kills his mother figure.
Wait, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Did you? Killed your mom?
I fought her to let her. I was like, get me the fuck out of here.
That's depressing.
I didn't think of her as my mom. I thought of her as
She left
she's-
cake on your floor while you were sleeping.
right.
She's
she
like a
is
Kathy
now.
Bates.
She literally
No,
left cake on the floor
Hey,
for
everybody's seen Beauty and the Beast, and I am not trying to get into a Stockholm syndrome situation. So you better let me out of here.
you. And I Stockholm right away.
I love it. You're like, how do I get out of here? She says, did you know snails make bad shoelaces? and you're like, okay, can I get out of here? She's like, you want more snail facts?
Yeah.
I would want more snail
But also
facts. I would
snail
say that-
facts.
I'd be like, are you
Dylan's
gonna-
like, maybe I'll stick around.
If you
well, I would be like,
fell-
you're gonna give me cake
If
and
you
like
fell
Dude.
down a sewer,
Do we
Dylan,
just wanna
and
turn
you
the
ran into
podcast
a
into
monster
snail facts?
goat lady, are you telling me that you would want more snail facts?
yes.
That tracks.
Listen, dude. If I saw something strange that I could never explain, I'm not running away. If they're not trying to hurt me, I'm gonna be like, yeah, tell me more about
That
you.
flower tried to murder me just a second ago.
Yeah, but she
It's a
ain't.
flower.
But she ain't.
Sorry, am I yelling too much?
no, that's good. I like.
I'm just saying.
This is passionate,
I'm trying
and I
to
love it.
justify why I did what I did.
She ain't hurting me.
So
Not yet.
Dylan's into it.
We're-
Maybe I fuck her.
we're not going to beat around the bush anymore. There are different ways to play this game.
Yeah.
So there is genocide, which you like, if you
Now, the
Dylan already has
the PC term now is no mercy.
well, they still say genocide route.
They still call it genocide. I don't know what you want to count. as
Dylan, we
genocide.
talked about this the other day.
They're not even
Killing
the same
all of the
species.
monsters.
They're not even all the same species. What do you mean genocide?
Okay, I like Dylan's point that it's not that genocide is offensive, that this isn't properly genocide.
It's not properly genocide. It's no mercy. So you're just killing everything.
they consider monsters as its own species. But whatever. There's the genocide run where you would kill everybody, and it's amazing how different the game gets because the towns actually become like no one's there. There will be sequences where people interact with your character, and you just respond like a psychopath
Dom,
maniac.
your playthrough must have been awful.
No, the music changes.
I'm sorry.
It turns into a different game.
We'll get into what I experienced first, what you guys experienced.
I knew
well,
to be a pacifist.
The normal, I mean,
That's the thing is, I
just-
went into this game knowing I should
Right. And I didn't. I went in going, play it like a video game.
so
Because
kill.
that's how, exactly.
Monsters die.
Right.
And
Monsters
also
and humans.
Yeah.
It says at the very beginning of the game, a long time ago in a land far, far away, underground, a million years ago into
there was
the future.
a book on a mountain.
right. On a
There
cliffside.
were warriors, and one of them had a didgeridoo.
There was a Flowey. But Flowey teaches you at the beginning. He's like, if you kill things, you'll get experience points, and that'll give you more LV, which means
EXP.
love. EXP, yeah.
Yeah.
So you want EXP so you can get more love. You'll learn more about those terms later, but so there's
Yeah, I fell for the oldest trick in the book.
well, and then I played
Son of a bitch.
I played middle of the road.
clamshell game.
I
Yeah.
played middle of the road my first time where I realized there was a talk option, and if there was a character who seemed cool or sympathetic, there was a way to spare them or talk with them. Yes, I want to hang out with like a papyrus or anyone alphies. Like I understand you mean well, so I'll try to help. But monsters that just come up and try and kill me, I don't. No, it's easy to kill them quick, and I just want to get more HP. So whatever.
So you got the neutral ending then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The one that you're like genuine.
Most people do.
Yeah, you're supposed to get the first time.
Unless you're
through.
Dom and you're like power hungry. And
And
Well,
then,
okay, so when I saw all that
Murder.
shit at the bottom where it's like fight, act, I don't know what the third one is, and the last one's mercy. That's basically
Item.
I was looking, yeah, that's what it was. I was looking at it like Pokemon, where it's like
I
fight,
don't use items.
fight, item,
yeah, use X
whatever,
defense,
and then the
you
last
fucking
one is
idiot.
run,
A
right?
waste of a turn.
So when you select something like in Pokemon where it's run away, that's what I thought mercy was. So I just never even tried to do it.
well, yeah, and you have to do enough talking with most monsters, or not even talk. Like it was action, and then
Yeah.
there's different like talk this or that. There's a great series of enemies that are all dogs, and they all
Yes.
respond very well to petting. Some need you to smell them first, and it's really great.
It's
'Cause
cute.
there's one character.
It's so cute.
There's one dog that the more you pet it, the longer its head gets.
And then it goes above
Yep.
the screen and then back.
And then
all
also,
I remember.
Also, after you do that, the landscape around that dog will start growing like crazy, just like the dog's head for no reason.
Fuck yeah.
I don't
Also,
remember fighting any dogs, so that must be a part of it where if you go that route, they're like,
No,
We're not even gonna
no.
introduce
Tom,
dogs.
Tom, I hate to tell you this. You fought the dogs. You
just
killed the
murdered them.
dogs.
If you
dog
didn't
knights.
save
No.
the dogs, you
They're-
killed them.
They're
I don't
Shiba
think I did.
Inu looking dogs.
No, I
they
know what
were
they
in
look
suits
like.
of
You
Fucking
armor.
murdered them.
there was small doggo, greater
He's
doggo.
blocking them out.
You didn't even
definitely
look
didn't.
at your enemy as you slaughtered them.
no, because I don't think dogs are monsters. So I don't think nope, I didn't.
So,
As a guy who
face
just
dog.
played Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, you have to shoot a fucking dog in
There's
that.
Oof.
also
Nope.
there's
I
also
won't play that game.
There's also pacifist
really won't.
where you don't fight anyone. Where literally, if you acquire any EXP points, you're not being a pacifist anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's, in my opinion, the most fun way to play the game. I haven't done genocide though, and I do want to play it that way. But it
I've
permanently
done pacifist.
it permanently changes your save file in a
Yeah.
fun way, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But after you get out of Toriel's house, you'll wind up in Snowden. You meet two of our main characters, Sans and Papyrus,
You get it snowed in.
named, Sans and Papyrus. I remember seeing Papyrus's font. I'm like, Jesus, what did they use for that font? Papyrus? And he's
That
like,
guy
my
that
name's
did the
Papyrus.
Wiki.
And I said, only way this is acceptable is if your name's actually the font name.
And Sans is Sans.
Yep.
Avatar is Papyrus.
Yeah, but if it was called Papyrus, I'd like that movie better.
Yeah.
Well, and you're told like it's dangerous out there. You don't want to go out there. And then this monster just walks up behind you and he's all like black and he just reaches his hand out. It's like, what? Aren't you going to shake my hand, human? It's all scary. And you shake his hand and it's a long whoopee cushion.
Gotcha, bitch.
Because Sans
Gotcha,
is the
yeah.
best.
Sans is amazing. And so Sans is kind of like your homeboy who
Just doesn't give a shit.
he's super laid back, but also takes certain things very seriously.
People
like
are very
yeah.
horny for him too on the internet.
Oh,
Did
really?
any of you guys
Oh,
do
yeah.
the genocide way?
No.
Okay,
No.
we'll talk
we're
about it.
not we're not the monsters. They
I
are.
barely got through pacifist because I'm like, well, that's the ending. Like that's how it's supposed
No,
to
but
be.
dude, genocide changes it so much that it's worth playing. I think.
I've
but-
seen videos of people doing all of them in a row, and I'm just like, okay, well, now I understand what this is supposed to be. I don't like whatever.
Well,
can
then
get into it
yeah,
in a bit.
Papyrus is a human
I mean-
hunting fanatic, and he's cool. But you go to the village, you can go to Grillby's bar and hang out with Sans.
Yeah.
If you didn't kill Little Doggo, he is in the bar.
Yep.
And it
All
says
the people you don't kill.
it says Little Doggo is playing poker against himself. It looks like he is losing.
So none of them were in my playthrough.
No, you had an empty bar. You
No,
did.
yeah, it was an abandoned village for you.
There's also in Grillby's bar. It says you cannot use the fire exit as you're not made out of fire.
I did get that.
I like that one. But you do have a boss fight against Papyrus where you can choose to kill him or just be a reasonable human being and let him live.
It's pretty easy, honestly.
You didn't crush his skull. At the
I
end,
didn't
Dom?
know you could. I didn't know you could save people in this game, guys. I didn't cheat and look on the internet before I played it. Okay,
I didn't cheat either.
This was spoiled.
You got
from the
spoiled
community.
for it.
Yeah, I didn't cheat though.
Yeah, but
Someone
somebody
told
go.
me.
Yeah, somebody.
No.
Go, that's being spoiled.
How were you not?
Toriel taught you could spare people and talk with them.
That
Right-
is true.
right
She
away.
taught you pretty much right away.
You know,
It was the
listen-
first thing
She
she's.
tells you to talk to a dummy.
No, it's the first thing that they say. Though.
I know. While she is talking to a dummy.
Yeah, but Flowey made a very lasting impression on me, which is why we're drinking Flowey's thing, not goat's milk.
You know what sucks? Dom, you know
Goat's
what's,
milk kind of tastes gross, so it's okay.
Dom, you
Hey,
know what
Brad,
sucks
do
for
have
you?
any-
Tell me, Brad, what sucks for me?
If you don't kill Papyrus, you get to go on a date with him
It's very cute.
where he takes you in his bedroom and he shows you his like race car bed.
It's amazing.
Fuck.
And then like it goes into a battle
You're gonna
scene.
replay this game.
It goes into a battle scene where he's like, "We're officially hanging out," and there's like
very funny.
There's
Oh
like
my God, it's-
all the hangout stats come up, and he's like, "I read the first part about hanging out is wearing cool clothes."
Yep.
Well, turns out I'm ready, and he pulls his clothes off, and it says like "cool dude" on his shirt.
Plus 50%
the
cool.
the pacifist run is that is the way to play the game. They will not spell it out for you,
No, clearly.
which is dumb. I do think that they should give you if you're not killing bosses, I think it should still count as a pacifist
Well,
run.
so you can still get a neutral run, which is still pretty pacifist.
You
okay.
still get a lot of the things that
Well, and you
I
can't-
didn't.
I don't think you can get the true.
You're not talking in there at all.
I don't think you can get the true pacifist route without playing through the neutral first.
You actually do have to play through neutral before you can get the true pacifist ending. You actually have to do 2 playthroughs to get the
Yeah.
best ending,
Yeah.
but
You unlock it when Flowey comes in at the end and says like, "Hey, if you did pretty well, you should
What's up,
try
fucker?"
not
Well,
doing any of this."
there's a friendship meter where Papyrus asks like, "Do you like hanging out with me?" And you could say yes. And he's like, "Oh, compliments are great." And the friendship meter goes up. And then also he's like, "Turns out I have another surprise planned for this hangout. Can you find it?" And under his hat is pasta. And he's like, "You found my pasta." It's so great.
So maybe as we're moving along here, I can actually give my impressions about this game. I found this game to be mildly entertaining. There are parts of it I really enjoyed, but for the most part, I kind of felt like because I was spoiled for it, I felt like I was being duped. And I don't appreciate that. And I was just like, okay, well, now I'm going to finish this pacifist run. I'm going to do my weird bullet hells.
You did neutral because neutral is the only way you can play finish the first game.
Yeah.
You can't
sure?
can't get a real.
can't kill anyone.
You have
You
to go
can't
through
let-
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, again, I think what you're about to say.
And I will say,
Oh, I would never play this twice.
dude, I said the same thing, and the next day I'm like, I have to just do it. It's only like
Yeah,
3
but I
hours.
didn't.
But I did.
You can-
The pacifist run is 10 times better than the regular run.
Yeah.
It is different, and there's a whole extra. There's a whole extra like 40 minutes at the end of the game with new story,
And
new
I fucking
locations.
thought I did it.
No,
This is annoying to me immediately. Why do I want to do the same shit?
well, dude, I said the same thing, but when I went back and did
Unless
it,
it's Near Automata.
Here, but you do get like your.
I'm glad you brought up
playthrough-
near.
It's the same
feels like
thing.
it, right?
But
It's very similar.
But Near's okay when it does it.
Yeah, because I get to do like weird
Robot
little
butts.
segments. No, I get to do new segments.
You get to do
get to-
segments.
The hacking
Yeah.
and stuff.
They're different. There are different bosses. They're like
Sell me better.
Let's talk about the piano puzzle, where you acquire a legacy item, but you try and pick it up, and it says you have an annoying dog in your inventory. And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I dropped it. The annoying dog runs up and grabs the item and runs away, and leaves you with dog residue.
So remember that time that I said I didn't murder a dog? I must have murdered a dog.
Yeah, you had
because
to.
this didn't happen.
Yeah.
You didn't do the piano puzzle, I'm guessing.
you didn't do the like. It's the theme, right?
I would love to watch your first playthrough of this game, Dom, because it sounds magical and weird.
I'm just.
But you found the
being
Temmie
like-
Village, which
I found the Temmie
Oh
Village.
man, I love the theme.
I found
the Temmie Village is the only
It
thing I
was so
hate in the
silly
game.
and weird.
Temmies are pretty cute.
Oh no, I'm the only one who's strongly against the Temmie.
Oh man, it was so silly and
game.
cute.
There's so many different opinions of this game. It's great.
There are so many things in this game
Hey.
I don't like.
What is art?
What is it?
Well,
Something that is opinionated.
I will say I
in
was
a bucket.
I was 100 I was mostly like 100% on board with this game until the end, because
Oh yeah, I watched.
Dom was over
took
here
a turn.
watching me beat the end, and it was, you get to Asgore, the final boss, and you beat him, and Asgore was tough enough, but I wasn't able to beat him without more items, and I remember being very upset. I had to backtrack down the entire final area all the way back to that resort. It's like, why? Like, this is dumb. But I did that, and then I came back up, and I beat Asgore, who I thought was a fine final boss. But then Flowey shows up, fun twist. But the Flowey boss fight, I thought was the worst diarrhea I've ever seen on screen.
Overblown, over the top.
It abandoned all framework for the game and what my understanding of the gameplay was to have this just intense, it looked like internet poop, just screaming stuff on screen. And from what I could tell, like, I was able to not die and just keep doing stuff.
You only have to focus on the box.
I hated it. I hated the whole thing.
Yeah.
I liked the concept of what Flowey was up to, but I remember being so upset at that concept. And then I was left very sour. I would have said 4 out of 10 for the game overall after that, but the pacifist run brought me back up to like 7.5 out of 10.
So is the appeal of this game then the metatextual nature of it? Because I got to be honest with you, the gameplay works very well as a game, but I'm also like, man, I'll tell you, like, that doesn't strike me as much as anything. I like metatextualism in games. I've said it a million times. I don't think this did it. I mean, can you make an argument to the opposite?
Not so much as a studio collectively working towards it. I can agree with you there.
Sure.
But one guy doing it on his own image, story, literally top to bottom, this is Toby Fox's game. It's one guy that put it all together.
But
that's why I respect it and appreciate it as much as I do.
Well,
It's an
but then-
enjoyable
it's a
experience.
It's
and
it's a
it's
good world
different.
building. It's good world building. It's fun characters. I think the strongest point of this to
Yeah.
me is the characters.
He made a fun world.
Yes.
Like, it's fun to just exist in the world and interact with Sans and Pirates.
And there is a fun.
You don't think so?
No.
There is another level to this game too, where Sans will make comments about whether you are doing things again or playing, like you reloaded.
Yeah.
He's like, "We did this before. Why are you here again?"
That was one of the few things I liked.
And I love the weird soft saves that the game does
Yep.
on top of your save, which is really fun. And Sans is a really cool character where he's your homie. He'll go and like hang out with you. But if you betray him or do things that piss him off, he will beat the shit out of you. He's the
And
toughest
he will
boss in the game,
remember.
which I haven't done because only genocide people get to play against Sans at the end.
Megalovania, one of the best songs.
So you didn't even get true genocide. You got like you weren't
You didn't
Hitler.
kill everyone.
You weren't Hitler. You were just like
I didn't
pretty
save
bad.
anybody because I didn't know how.
You murdered literally every single...
every single person I went across.
But you didn't, because genocide means going out of your way to find every individual little monster along the way. So you just got
gotta- you gotta poke
There's a
a-
limited amount of monsters in the world.
you can after you kill a monster, it won't come back.
So like you have to literally wander around the map to get all of them.
So you
There's
got
a set amount. It's not like random battles where there's just fodder.
They're populated.
you're
I
pretty
definitely-
genocidal, but you're not really genocidal.
You're not true.
I was just trying to get home.
Remember when Alfie's
wanted to go home.
Remember when Alfie's the reptilian royal scientist has a crush on you and wants to talk about anime and texts you the entire time? Mm-hmm. That's fun.
She's adorable.
And they're dead now in Dom's world.
Dom killed him.
Oh, that
They
hurts
didn't
me.
get to kiss Undyne.
No, we
It's
didn't.
like literally the sweetest.
don't even know what
cutest,
you're
just
talking
like
about.
Well,
dorky
it's-
introvert. Like
Alfie's is the reason that all of this has happened in a way, because in the pacifist route, you get to find out about the lab where they have been doing some weird experiments
Yeah.
with monster souls.
yeah. But that was also like the other scientists too. Like a lot of that was
Which is a hidden character. I don't even know all of this. Undertale has a huge following. Now, I think this is a fine game. I think I loved it, the pacifist run. I didn't love it the first playthrough, but overall, my experience was cool, great little fun self-aware RPG with unique gameplay, and it tried to do something different, which I think it does well. It's a 3-hour little experience. Go for it. Why not? It's fun.
Its
And
fandom fucks itself.
that's what I was just going to say. This
Scissor.
I mean, Scissor Fist arrives in a big way here.
Its fandom fucks itself in a way where I think you can whip yourself up into a hysteria about any game, I guess. But I honestly have grown past the point in my life now where fandoms can like ruin things for me. I'm an adult man. I can decide what I like. But with this game, I'm sorry, man. Like some of the shit I've seen, I'm just like,
I don't think it's like
get the fuck over yourself. It's a fine video game. It's fine.
Well, no, Undertale became the idea
Massive.
became bigger than the game.
yes.
the idea
which is a
was
problem.
bigger. I watched some
I
of
mean,
those cool animations.
There's
I
a reason why
personally
he's
liked
not a
them.
major line developer right now.
Well, he's making Deltarune, and I played that first chapter of Deltarune. I liked it fine.
I'm surprised to hear Dylan's got such strong negative opinions on this game.
I just
I
wish
dig it.
I wish to I no, it's not even negative towards the game. It's towards the people who made it bigger than what it was supposed to
The
be.
fandom.
I want to experience the thing. And I don't do fan fiction. I never will. But the more and more I see people obsessing about this stuff and kind of they get gatekeeping about it, and the way they treat other people who don't understand what's going on, it's like, oh, you haven't played this video game, you fucking idiot dumbass. Like, what are you
that's just-
fucking talking about?
That's just the internet being awful.
I know,
but-
but this is very specific to
But Dylan,
things like Undertale.
Dylan, let's not talk about the fandom. Let's talk
Okay.
about the game.
Okay.
But as its own experience, you know?
Sure, I'm not going to play this game more than once. And
I think
I found it compelling.
Give the pacifist run a try. I think you'd be surprised if you picked it up again.
To be
I've
honest,
got it on my PC. Tom actually fixed my PC, so thank you, Tom. What I will say though is, I might.
I think me and Dylan are very similar in the fact that like when you get credits and they roll, cool. What's next?
Nier Automata Part B.
Well, then
Yeah.
we wouldn't have played so many. We
Games
wouldn't
the
have
other
played so
night.
many. Well, even games the other night, or even like new indie games, because Dom and I we were just literally going
Yeah.
through lists. So
I was
give
very.
me a reason to go back.
I was.
They don't really tell you.
Well, what I was about to
explicitly.
say.
No, Flowey does. Flowey pulls you aside at the end of the game and says, "Hey, you should go back and try and do some things differently." He pulls you aside and says, "There, you just said there's no reason to go back, and I'm telling you that there was. You're giving me the hands jerking
No,
off
they're
motion."
telling me. They're telling me something. Whereas in Nier Automata, they literally show you what's going to happen next. There's
No, they don't
there's
give
not-
you a choice. They pull you into the next section of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
If you complete like true genocide mode, you can come back and the game won't do anything for like 10 minutes. It'll be a black screen. It's like you killed everything. There's nothing here anymore. And you have to wait, and then eventually Flowey comes back on screen. It's like, oh, you came back, huh? And the game will make you.
Well, I guess.
That sounds like a time wasting nightmare.
You were
I mean-
you were so in love with metatextual weird shit. This game did
it's a
something to break you.
It's a programmer
When-
lifting his middle finger to the people that just.
No, this is Dylan just upset with the fandom. This is what's going
No,
on.
no. When the guy from Far Cry 4
This is just
tells you when you're sitting at the table, he's like, just wait, I'll be right back. And you're supposed to escape from his facility, and you just wait. And then eventually he does come back, and you get an ending of a game. That's actually kind of compelling.
that's literally what we're talking about.
Yeah, but there's
literally what
nobody
we
left. No. They don't say wait for 14 minutes. They don't say like, hey, I'll be back in 15.
No, how great is it if you kill the entire world, the game just loads up. It's like there's nothing here anymore. That's
Yeah, but
that's-
wait,
how
how
long
would you
do you-
know?
Yeah, exactly. Unless you
It's a
looked at-
It's
How-
not
you can
respectful
all-
of your time.
Dylan, it's a powerful statement. You killed everything in the game. It's a comment from a creator.
Yeah, and
Powerful
you can
When-
also restart from the beginning, like you're actually kind of
I under a
supposed
true
to.
a true
So you can
reset.
get-
I don't really like Undertale. I
Which
think
is-
it's fine. I respect Toby Fox, and I respect everything he's done, because I'll be honest with you, that kind of dedication, same guy who made Stardew Valley, like, you can't deny what these people are doing.
Yeah.
And the sheer fandom that came out of this game was so popular on like Twitch streams.
Well, and I think
all this
that's
other stuff.
the
And
plague on it is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it has now a mythos.
yep.
Moving forward,
I liked the characters and the
They're
world
cute.
design.
The
I
game
thought
is
it was
cute.
fun. I thought it was
Like-
self-aware and a fun 8-bit silly RPG. And I will say I did not like my first playthrough, and it left me very angry. It did, but I went back in and I found so much more to love about all the characters because you learn more about them. And when you do true pacifists and all of the characters wind up at the very end of the game, and you
Yeah.
can walk all the way back to the beginning, and they all have unique things
you
to
get
say.
to talk, and yeah,
But do they have 2B's ass?
it's a Mass Effect Citadel
One
at
of
the
them
end
might.
of that game.
The first time that you go to the resort and you ask Burger Pants if you can sell something to him, and he has that awkward look on his face, he's like, I'm just trying to run a burger stand and I can't buy things from you. I am just trying to sell some burgers. Can you just buy something? It's hilarious. It's a very funny game. The stuff with Metaton where he does an opera and it turns into like a Final Fantasy VI parody, I thought was great. That song was really funny and well written.
Music's very good.
There's a
Toby,
ton of
all
deep
credit
dives.
to Toby.
Well, and he's a composer.
He's
like
so
without being one.
You get to the end of the game and you arrive in what looks as the same home as before, and then you see Asgore and you realize he looks the same species as Toriel, so you realize that they were a strange relationship, and then you find out their son died, so that's why they're upset. It feels like Barbossa and Suikoden 1, where he just like, we have to fight, this is just gonna happen.
Now, Brad, when you say that, do you actually mean Barbossa, Captain Barbossa from Pirates of the Caribbean?
fucking God. Damn it. What are we doing here?
the more you know about the story, there is a lot more depth to it. And the character of Flowey is interesting because...
You know what? I'll give it a second shot. I know all the spoilers now because I was just like, I'm not playing through this again. So I looked it up.
Yeah.
Fine. I would play through it again. Maybe there will be some emotional resonance.
I would argue that the writing is strong. Not that it's like legendary writing; it's 8-bit writing, but it's strong enough that it evokes emotions, and the animations that go along with it. It's done well enough that it conveys basic storytelling, and the story that it's telling is touching enough that you get the feels.
Right.
After you beat Mettaton, excuse me, and then you get to Asgore, and he takes you to the final battle, and he gets rid of that mercy.
Yeah. And Tom's like, I
don't
need that anyways.
I don't. Like, fine.
I'm fine.
Okay, whatever.
Like,
I'm just trying to go home.
I'll slit your throat, cunt.
Before that bit where you're walking through that corridor and Sans shows up, and he's like, you've made your journey to this point and you're about to get home and blah, 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 blah. Like, and I don't remember what line he actually uses, but he's like, tell me why you've decided to go through the way that you did this game. And you don't say anything. And then he says, it doesn't matter what you're like, obviously as the player playing it, you think about it in your head. You're like, well, I did this because, whatever. Of course, me being home. Like, I'm trying to get home, and that's what this game's about, right? And then he literally looks at me and just goes, it doesn't matter what you just thought, because I know you're trying to do what you're trying to do, but why did you have to kill my brother?
Oh, yeah.
And at that point, I went, oh no, I fucked up. What?
Yeah.
Like, no, I thought we were homies. And because he's still pretty friendly to you.
Yeah, he's just like, nah, I'm out.
Even
it's good.
But
They're all skelly men anyway.
And I was like, wait, what? And then you beat Asgore, and of course I murdered him too. And then you get to Flowey. And then it's the bullet hell nonsense.
He comes out of nowhere because Flowey was at the beginning, and you're like, oh, this guy's back.
Fine.
Yeah. But I beat him, and then it goes through this, like, you murdered all the monsters, and, like, do you feel good about yourself? Do you? And you're like, oh, no, not really.
Dom quietly hides his boner.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, fuck. So then I went back to, like, reload my save, and it puts you in. It puts you in front of Asgore, and I was like, okay, I'll try and save him this time and see what happens. And then you get to Flowey, and he just goes, you think just because you reload your save, that's gonna fucking make a difference? What's wrong with you? You're a goddamn idiot.
I love when
and
he
I
does
was just
stuff
like
that.
But
lie,
at this point, right?
Does this.
For me,
I do.
For me, I am not a person who will go back into a game.
Yeah.
And like play it again. Because I'm like Dylan, when I get the credits, cool, that was a good game, whatever. This one, to be honest, the second that Sans says, why did you kill my brother? I was like, oh fuck, I need to restart this game. And it's not even until after that, and Flowey's like, you can't just restart it. I'm like, damn, I have to swipe the whole thing.
No, you don't. They'd give you another chance. But I was...
You didn't kill everything.
I did. Everything I went up against, I did.
You didn't get the true genocide. Trust me.
It was only like a 3.5 hour long game first time through.
I think I played 10 hours because I was looking through every nook and cranny.
Yeah. It was a short experience, so I had no problem the next morning going and doing it again. And honestly, the gameplay challenge of not killing anything was a fun twist on the gameplay because you actually have to figure out what the monsters want. And there's a persona-ness to it where you have to figure out what their personalities are, which becomes very fun because some don't want nothing to do with you.
Like the Undying, I'm sure.
Yeah, Undying was very tough to come to terms with, but the date with her is really great because she wants to teach...
a date with her?
You have to teach her how to cook.
Yeah.
And she's like, how do you want to cook? Soft or hard? And you're like, chop the shit out of every onion. And you like destroy the kitchen, and her house winds up on fire at the end of the day, and she's like, I don't even care. It's really great.
It's a good date.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I still probably won't play through it, but
It's a short experience, especially when you know what you're doing. I don't know.
it's fun to know that it can be experienced differently.
Strong recommend of playing it the way that it was supposed to.
Which is pacifist, which, again, didn't know. So for those of you out there who are like, Dom, you fucking idiot, I didn't know.
No.
Yeah.
Also, I would be curious to play a genocide because apparently the game changes intensely at many moments because all the characters respond to you different because you're a psychopathic murderer.
Well, Brad, I will tell you this. It isn't that I'm a psychopathic murderer. It's because I have a lot of love.
yeah.
He wants
Because
to go home.
He wants to go home.
LV means love. It's not love, it's love of violence, right? Level of violence?
Level of
Level of
violence, yeah.
violence.
And EXP means
Execution points.
execution points. What?
I said LD is little dicky.
LD is Little Dicky, says Dat Davin Bitch. Ants in the Pants asks, if you had to pick a character from the game, why does Dylan hate it so much? Wait, no, he doesn't say that. If you had to pick a character from the game who is most like you, who would it be? Dylan is Flowey, except like a meaner version.
Is that really what happened? Is that what someone's saying?
Brian asked the question, yes.
I think I'm more of a papyrus.
No, he's like a good
But
dude
nicer.
who's jovial.
Yeah, but like in my soul of
No, you're Sans, if anyone. Like, you're a good person to have on your side, but if you say that you like Undertale, I will kill you.
And,
got a good boss
and
theme.
Sans
So-
very clearly does not like Undertale.
Yeah.
No.
He's
clearly,
aware that
yeah.
he's in it, and he does not like
At
it.
the end when he
Okay, I'll
calls
take
you,
Sans.
at the end when he calls you, what did he say to you guys? Because I know he was like, "Hey, that snowman you had in your pocket is like,
Yeah.
He thought that was cool. Thanks for hanging out with him."
You made one snowman really happy.
Yeah,
Oh, was it the one that you carried the whole way through?
yeah.
The snowman piece.
Yeah, no, I think that's all I got out of it too.
Yeah,
It was
that's
just-
all. That's all. it
You
says.
want to know what he said to me? So he called and he was like, "Hey, I bet you're wondering like what's going on down here, and like, everyone is dead and like whatever, and there's no ruler, and it's weird. You'd think it would be me, right? Because I'm like the only one still alive, but it's not. So
I'm not doing that.
And he's like, it's just not something I want to do. If my brother was still alive, he'd probably do it. Anyway, just wanted to call you to let you know that you should go to hell. And then it just ends. And I was like, fuck, man. Fuck this game. Like,
Sounds like the last message with the girl I was dating.
It seriously, it seriously did make me
fired.
want to go back in and play it and like just wipe it and play again. But I think because I was looking through every nook and cranny, which is the kind of gamer I am, I did put like 10 to 15 hours in, and I just
yeah.
couldn't do that again.
I don't know.
There should have been a disclaimer like go through this playthrough.
There should be a
No,
disclaimer.
because then I probably wouldn't have done what I did.
The point is it lets you have a choice, and you have to feel your repercussions of that choice before you can go back and do it
Which-
again. The point is the choice.
Which again, I think we talked about this on, I think it was Mass Effect, where if you pick something, you should feel the repercussions of it.
Which Mass Effect does terribly.
failed at.
I'm going to go ahead and say
They
Nabs to
tried.
Bluke because he wants to show off his illegally downloaded music and lay on the floor with you. And that's
Who is
cool.
this?
He's a cute ghost.
The cute
the
ghost, he's
ghost,
like,
yeah.
me and my friends just like to lay on the ground. So if you want to join me, you can. And you do it for 10 seconds.
He's very
like,
depressed.
And he's like, wow, you did it.
Good job.
It's like,
and then you get a friend request on the Facebook app. And then you click accept. He's like, the request was canceled already.
Oh, that
He thought about reaching out. He's like, nah, never mind. I'll go with Naps to Bluke.
he's also maybe
He's
my
funny.
spirit animal.
I think I murdered him, and well, I know I murdered him. And when you murdered him, he goes, "You can't murder me. I'm a ghost." So he kidnaps you and puts you like in his attic or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's cute.
That's adorable.
Yeah. And it's weird. There's like a dog house and like a dog bowl, and you like walk up to him, and it's like, this looks like it should be. But he's like, you can make yourself at home in the dog bed if you want.
I'm gonna go with Temmie. for
Oh,
mine,
no.
because I'm a parrot and I say the same things over and over and over all the time.
There's one Temmie, though, named Bob who's like, hi,
I'm Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob.
And it made me laugh full blown out loud by myself on my own. I don't do that very often.
Yes. So personally, I thought Undertale was a very fun experience. I think that the fandom did blow it into something that
Yes. It's not the insane...
I don't know. They've created something else.
It's
out
own
of it.
organism now.
But as its own game, it is fun,
It's kinda
unique, and it does something different with the genre, which I think is worth your time. Fuck. I thought it was pretty cool, especially after the replay.
You were hating it when I was sitting in your living room watching you play it.
Which was an amazing turn because most of the game I loved until that very end where I thought they had botched all of the game up to that point. But after doing a replay, I was surprised how much more I appreciated all of the game design. I didn't want to go back in, but I had enough time to do it, so I did.
It's one of those games that's sweet, and I like happy endings, and I get sappy over that nonsense. And when I finally do work hard enough to actually achieve a real happy ending, it's like, yeah, I did the thing.
And I know, like, if Dom had his way, the end of this podcast would be him standing alone on a mountain of our bodies. And then you get a call from Carly's like, just so you know, you're a dick.
Yeah, go to hell.
Go to
you
hell.
go to hell and you die.
You killed all of them? Really? That's my impression of Carly. She's laughing in the distance.
As she's dabbing.
She dabs.
I can see the dab around the corner.
It's like, shit, I'm going to have to find a new fiance.
So, yeah, check out Undertale. Check out Untitled Goose Game. And if there's something good on Kickstarter, cautiously approach it and maybe back it if you want to. But this has been Raw Dogs. Indie Games Month will continue next time with our discussion of what remains of Edith Finch and Kentucky Route Zero,
Very excited.
which I know Dylan will be much warmer on.
Oh, yeah. Much warmer on.
Extremely hot might even be the way to say it. But
Horny.
Super hot.
Dom, if they want to support us on Patreon, how can they do that?
You can go to patreon.com and search Hair at the Dogcast. I think we have tiers for $3 at the most right now.
$10 is the most.
$10
$50
is
is the most, but 10 is the most anyone
You
does.
know what? If you throw us $1, we'll be happy with that. I'm okay with it.
If you give us $3, you'll get access to bonus content. There'll be extra shows and extra podcasts called Doggies After Dark, which is only for Patreon members, as well as you can join our Discord and join our conversations behind the scenes, which is a lot of fun, a lot of good people on there. If they want to support us on social media, Nick, how can they do that?
They can reach out to us at hairofthedogcast.com.
No?
Nope.
At
that's
gmail.com.
At gmail.com. As well as Hair of the Dogcast Twitter handle.
I just wanted to throw it to these guys because they
yeah.
haven't done this before. Dylan, where can they find us on social media?
Hot Dog Cast at Twitter.
Is it? Dylan,
we're going to have episode 50 soon, man. Okay, we're on Facebook and Instagram at Hair of the Dogcast. We're on Twitter at Hot Dogcast.
I don't even have my own. I have an
Seconded.
Instagram.
You can find him on Twitter at Drunk Dylan.
Fuck.
That still exists, Dylan, whether or not you know about it.
It does. Matt hasn't used it in a while.
But yes, Indie Games Month
don't go
will
out as
continue. And I don't know.
email in.
We
Tell
love
us what
you
your
all.
favorite
Thank you so
games
much.
are.
Actually, no. Everyone who is listening that has played Undertale, we need all of your thoughts.
Yeah,
all of your
yeah.
opinions on this game.
Let's get a polling of the full Dogcast community.
Yeah, who didn't know anything and went balls deep like I did?
Just
That's what I
fucking
want. I want to
murdered
make sure I'm not
everyone.
the only fucking psychopath in this
You put your
group.
balls up there?
Wait, do you want to know that?
Yeah.
And what can we do to console Dylan?
You're willing to look into that a bit?
Console me?
Yeah.
I don't.
Dylan, what's
I like
wrong?
money.
What's
I like
wrong,
money.
man? What's wrong?
I like money. And I want more of it.
This is a sizzle for Doggies After Dark.
No, this is pretty much a sizzle. for
Wanting
Doggies
more
After
money is a
Dark.
Kentucky Route Zero topic, so we'll save that for next time.
Yeah, baby.
So, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.